Jeff Wade here at stockideas.org, and I just want to quickly show you how MarketWatch.com can be used to analyze the fundamental financials of a given company. So obviously, if you've ever been to MarketWatch.com before, you can see there's just a ton of market information, news, futures, and almost anything else you could ever want. But today we're just going to look at the financial tab of stock. So you enter in any stock ticker. I'll use Apple just for our example today. And again, you can see that there's just a ton of information on everything from the chart to sentiment to these statistics to news, everything you could want. And tons of information, analyst estimates, options chains, regulatory filings. You can really dig deep on any stock. But today I want to look at the financials because I find this free tool really helpful. When you're investing in a company for the longer term, you kind of want to have an idea of how the company has performed over a certain amount of time. You want to make sure that the performance, that they have a solid track record, not just they had a one-off lucky quarter. And that's kind of what I think, MarketWatch does really well with this find. Now, ideally, you may want to look at 10 or 20 years of data, but this is a great starting point, and it's free and really easy to use and see. So that's kind of why I like it. These 5-year trends here on the right are just a really quick way to see, at a glance, how all these different metrics are doing, right? So you can see that sales and revenue in Apple has been on a steady climb the last 5 years, but, so have selling expenses. And, the really cool thing, you can find almost any of your favorite metrics. Earnings per share here is down at the bottom. EBITDA is down at the bottom. Preferred dividends. You can see the different types of EPS, which is interesting. And in Apple, all things look pretty well. But you also, because the negative numbers are in red, you can look for potential red flags. So you can see that, there's been some unusual expenses lately. And this is clear both in the graph and with the red numbers. If you want to go a little bit further, you can also click on this plus button to view the ratios and see, how things are growing, if its growth is accelerating or if it's slowing a little bit. And this is just another quick way to draw your attention to see how things are changing relative to another, how sales expenses are growing relative to sales and revenue. And of course, there's a couple of these throughout, which I think you'd find pretty interesting. Now, the other thing, that's really helpful is when you do find maybe a red flag. So here, okay, there's been a weird operating expense happening in the last year. This unusual expense, what's that about? And what you can do then to see if it's, maybe a new trend developing or if it's just an anomaly is you can scroll back up to the top here and you can click on quarterly financials. So this changes from the last 5 years to the last 5 quarters. So this kind of gives you further insight to, okay, this unusual expense, okay, there's been a little bit here, but really the bulk of these unusual expenses have come in the last quarter. So, what are these big write-downs? What's the reason for this? And just like stock screeners, this isn't the be-all and end-all, but it's a great starting point, so you can look up and find, okay, what's the narrative? What's management saying about this number? Why? What's the reason? Is there, maybe it makes sense, or maybe it's something to be aware of. But I really like the MarketWatch financial tab because it's a quick visual way to see how things have been going and have been changing. And you can look at the last 5 years and then drill down to the most recent quarters to really, put your finger on where the, data changes are happening and whether it's the beginning of a nascent trend or something of an anomaly. And you'll want to cross-reference news articles as well as conference calls and annual reports to see, how management is, what color they're providing around these influences. And of course, we're just looking at the income statement. There's also the balance sheet and the cash flow statement. So, MarketWatch is just a great tool. And it's really the reason I recommend it as a tool to add to your kind of stock analysis toolkit, for the individual investor, is because it's free and it's really easy to use, and it's visually really easy to understand. It's very intuitive. You're like, okay, whoa, there's a problem here. What's the deal? Like, I gotta drill down and do more research and find out what this actually means before I'm comfortable investing in the stock. So, I'll do some more videos on the different aspects of MarketWatch, the analyst estimates, and maybe some of the sentiment tools. But for now, I really encourage you, for any investment you're considering, take a look at the financial tab of your stock. So you just type in a ticker, any ticker you want, and then you click on the financial tab below, and it brings up this great chart with a great 5-year trend. And again, if you're a serious investor investing for the long term, you may want to be looking at 10 years of data. But this is a great starting point and a really quick way to see if something deserves further research. So I hope this has helped you. And check out stockideas.org for more videos on screening and analyzing stock ideas. Thanks very much for watching.